I am aware
I am a humble man.
that you feel you don't belong.
I won't say you should follow me.
You are welcome. You are loved. Join us, and we shall reach the promised plain.
I'm not boastful, and my chorus is more soulful.
One of joy,
Can see
one lacking pain.
what
We
you're
are the cult of the Odd.
choose to believe. Cause we've been through.
I am aware
Don't say it. I can see
you
it.
feel you don't belong.
I don't wanna. You don't need it.
You are
Once again,
welcome.
we don't need you. What I
You are
mean is,
loved.
say it. I can see it.
Join us.
I don't wanna. You don't
We
need
shall
it.
reach
Once
the
again,
promised
we don't
plain.
need you.
One of joy, one lacking pain. We are the cult of the Odd.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. It is another episode of Cultivod Live here on Twitch, and I am sorry I was not here last week. I had a bit of the sick. Yeah. I've mentioned before I've got gastrointestinal issues that like to rear their ugly head every so often. So unfortunately, I sometimes am incapacitated. I made it very clear though that what was going on and tried to let everybody know. So if you're here, thank you. And if I missed you because I changed things slightly, well, I don't know what to tell you. I guess this. Yeah. So, all right. So what we are doing here is we are going to round out our series finale on the Yes, Virginia, there is swamp gas. Um, I wanted to do this last week because we had that big push from all the information that was from the hearing itself. But again, I got sick, and not much I could do about it, unfortunately. So, um, man, how many of you even watched the hearings, or even went back after the fact and watched? Like, it was some wild shit. It really was. And of course, there are conspiracy theories on top of this conspiracy theory now, as such is the case that things compound and compound. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to cover, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in. Uh, I'm not even sure where I should start. I know we were going to tackle in our third episode of the Michigan UFO tackle. Sorry. I know in our third episode we tackled the Michigan UFO craze of the 60s and diving further into the Men in Black and everything. I assure you we will come back to that topic sooner or later. But after the events of the 26th of July, we definitely have to take a hiatus on that discussion and focus on the recent House Committee hearings on U.A.P.s. It's an absolute doozy of a topic, and I feel it's the perfect way to cap off our series here. We can come back at another time and dive into the Men in Black in full, and just make an episode dedicated to that. I guess the best place to kick this off is by saying we're not alone. Humanity isn't the end-all, be-all that we have been led to believe. But really, who believed that anyways? There are other intelligences among us. What they are and where they originate from is still a bit of a mystery, but they are most certainly here. They are among us. As to whatever capacity that is, all we can do is speculate for the moment. Whatever it is or they are, it's operating within our airspace, in our oceans, and able to maneuver in outer space. So what does that all mean? Are they truly extraterrestrial, or have they been here all along? Maybe even before us. Are they coming from the deepest parts of the ocean, or quite possibly are they extra-dimensional? I know it's more questions about a possible origin of this subject, but it's a big old but, and it's a big old but. We have confirmation from multiple reliable witnesses that this is real. There is something out there that is bigger than us. All the sightings and encounters that are happening constantly, but the stigma surrounding the topic has been preventing the witnesses from being able to come forward. And that is what this entire hearing was about. The U.S. military has an outlet for pilots to report their encounters, but commercial pilots have to risk their livelihoods to come forward. Sure, the military might not follow through on these reports, but they have the information and the outlets. These witnesses are trying to bring the same kind of light to the commercial sector. Commercial pilots are mentally evaluated annually. They risk their jobs on reporting any of these sightings. And as it was said in this hearing, it's expected up to 95% of the U.A.P. sightings from commercial pilots go unreported. They fear for their jobs. They want stability when reporting, but don't get the support that they should when talking about these encounters. They would basically be labeled as crackpots or mentally unfit if they spoke out. This would completely ruin their credentials and job safety. And we shouldn't be doing that, right? Like, we shouldn't be treating people like they're crazy when they've seen stuff that they can't quite explain. Bigfoot enthusiasts for years have been labeled as crackpots. Nobody in their right mind would believe in Bigfoot. The people that believe in Loch Ness Monster, they've been labeled as loonies because, there can't be a giant sea monster that almost nobody's ever seen. You have all the other cryptids like the Chupacabra and the Mothman and, any number of other ones. And the people that believe in them and that have mentioned sightings and stuff like that, they are labeled crazy. They are looked at differently. They are treated differently in our society. Now, that's not to say that all of them aren't fucking crazy, but we can't just naturally assume that the person speaking is out of their gourd. Right? We get into a real bad area. Do you know, side note, my brain clicked over on this because of not believing. Do you know that the entire reason that the character of Snuffleupagus was made no longer Big Bird's imaginary friend is that in the 80s, there were all of the satanic panic issues, and adults, like the people in charge at PBS and Sesame Street, were worried because of the way that Snuffy was being portrayed and Big Bird was being portrayed as crazy for believing in Snuffy. They were afraid that children wouldn't feel safe in telling their parents about when something happened, i.e. someone touched them or, someone made them very uncomfortable. So Snuffy became a real character instead of Big Bird's imaginary friend, because they didn't want Big Bird to be seen as crazy, who is very childlike. And that's why my brain went to that, is talking about, we think these people are crazy, that they're crackpots and whatnot, but like right there in our own fucking pop culture history, a change was made to ensure that the individuals that they were being, that the programming was targeted at would feel safe in being able to report things that adults might have told them to keep quiet. In fact, if I remember correctly, Big Bird was even told he probably shouldn't talk about it. And then that was the catalyst right there. Is they were like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on, no, that's a bad avenue to go down. We don't need to go down that avenue. Anyways, so like there's a whole history of UFO sightings, cryptid sightings. If you believe something that seems to be outside of the norm, you're crazy to the rest of society. And commercial pilots are no different. In fact, like we said, their job is on the line if they report some of the things that they've seen. Now, with all that being said, I suppose we should get into the reports from the congressional hearing this past week. We're going to start with the heaviest part of the recent hearing. If you haven't watched or listened to the July 26th hearing, I highly suggest you do. It's available everywhere. Even though the media has seemed to overlook it, and of course, we love to say fuck you to the mainstream media. We take every chance we get. They don't leave us with a lacking of a reason to say it. But if you search YouTube or Spotify or wherever, it's easily available, and it's extremely important. So to start off, we'll have the testimony of David Grush. David Grush is a lifelong military man. He states that he doesn't come from a very well-to-do, wealthy family, but wanted to attend college. His only outlet for this kind of pursuit would be through the military. He rose through the ranks and would eventually find himself in the ranks of the U.A.P. task force with high-level security clearance. After some time working within those ranks, he found himself disenfranchised with the inner workings of the operation. The rank and file and bureaucracy and slow trickle of information didn't satisfy him, basically meaning that the things were being discarded, overlooked, and utterly dismissed. He wasn't being allowed to fully investigate the occurrences and became disillusioned with what the general public was allowed to hear about. So this man was, basically the Captain America guy, right? He was all for our country and doing his part, and rose through the ranks, got into an area, and was tired of the American people being lied to. As he became more disillusioned with the government's inner workings, he became a whistleblower and began to divulge the knowledge he came across. He took it as his patriotic duty to let the common man know that there is something bigger than all of us out there that we need to bring into light. Now, take that with a grain of salt. But I truly feel this man has come forward with, at most, a form of soft disclosure. He makes terms definite without revealing the truth. When asked if he had encountered any recovered physical bodies and if they were extraterrestrial, he could only comment that he didn't want to use the term extraterrestrial. He preferred to call them non-human intelligence, or NHI. And I'm not trying to jump the shark here, but that does seem to imply something extra-dimensional, possibly. If you're trying to reserve a descriptor for what you've witnessed, this would be the route you'd take. You'd want to keep your options open. And maybe he doesn't know exactly where they come from, but he knows that it ain't here. He goes on to talk about the retrieval of a non-human craft, in his own words, called them spacecraft, if you will, but it's technology that mankind hasn't produced. In his reviews, we're not able to produce craft that can descend down from 80,000 feet. And keep in mind, this is outer space. Drop down and hover in a still position in the strongest of hurricane-like winds for hours, and then shoot off immediately at Mach 2 or above. Nothing mankind has can do that. Nothing we produce could protect a human from those types of G's, right? You're talking full stop to Mach 2. Not even a buildup, right? You're just snap, you're going Mach 2. And that's exactly what would happen to us, is our necks would snap, our spines would snap. Our blood would probably boil in most of the aircraft that we have currently. So what are they? Right? That's the big question. What are they? If they're non-human, what are they? Well, to survive that sort of sudden acceleration, it certainly couldn't be human. A human couldn't survive sitting at a standstill and suddenly accelerating to Mach 2. And we just said that. In basically a nanosecond, we'd liquefy by that sort of acceleration. It's not feasible for the human body to survive that. All information seems to point to a amorphous intelligence. If it's out of this world or within, it is yet to be known. One thing is clear, though. There is something out there. It is interacting with us at a certain level. It's intelligent. If you take into account the maneuvers it performs, it's not afraid of our capabilities. And if it wanted to, it could very well destroy life on this planet. Because think about it. We don't have anything that can maneuver like it can. Do we really think that it's stopping at maneuverability when it comes to whether or not it's highly evolved or high advanced? Because I'm going to say there's probably weapons on there that would, put anything we have to shame. I don't know. What are your thoughts? You guys in the chat room, I see you. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying things so far. I'm going to give you guys a second to respond and see. I watched this hearing, and like one of the things that I've seen on TikTok as of lately is like everyone's like nobody was shocked, right? They do this side by side where the U.S. government is like aliens are real, and then the general public, yeah, but we told you aliens are real, yeah. Are they going to pay my rent? Are they going to put groceries in my house? Are they going to remove the problematic politicians that keep me from being able to pay my rent and keep me from being able to put groceries in my house? No? Cool. Well, good for fucking them that they're here. I don't want to be. All right. So, it has the ability to distort our radar and our tracking capabilities. It has successfully avoided our attempts to shoot them down. If they are malevolent, why haven't they attacked us? Yeah, that's pretty much what it came down to. Aliens are real, the sky is blue. Next. Why haven't they attacked us? If they are benevolent, why haven't they come forth and assisted us? I don't know if they're necessarily malicious or benevolent. I think they're apathetic, right? Because here's the thing. We all know what would happen if aliens came down right now. God forbid they land somewhere down south. Old Jim Bob and Joe Bob will end up shooting them with their 12 gauge before they even get a chance to say, take me to your leader. Most people here in like cities and stuff would freak the fuck out and probably pull guns on them too or try to harm them. You know, there would be billionaires that'd be like, I want one. Where do I get one? How can I buy one? Nobody's helping the army any either. What do you mean? Oh, army ants. Yeah, no, nobody's helping the army ants. Like, when is the last time you stopped and like, I don't know, put a cap full of water down for an ant hill? Or when is the last time that you made sure that a lesser being than yourself could find what they needed? Right? Now, some of you have bird feeders, some of you have squirrel feeders and stuff like that. You know, you're in the right mindset, but how many people really even go that far? Like we don't even want to take care of the people who are hungry, that are us, that look like us, right? Like homelessness, food scarcity, or food, what's the fucking term that they use? Food insecure. Like, we don't even want to do that. You barely want to let your neighbor borrow your lawnmower. Like, so do we really think aliens are going to be like, yes, my child, let me help you. Let me solve your hunger issues. Let me solve your energy issues. Let me take care of this. Yeah. Ace in the chat said, we've been killing each other for thousands of years. Would you help? And do what? Just stop killing each other. Yeah, I mean, we can't even handle a fucking trans person hawking beer, let alone someone coming in and telling us we need to be less aggressive. We need to fight more. Because immediately all they're going to hear is, they're trying to take our guns. They're trying to take them. They're trying to take our guns. No, we're telling you, you need to be less aggressive. You need to stop fighting with each other. Yeah, I want our guns. They want our guns. That's all I'm hearing. They want our guns. No. Have some fucking common sense. Stop being so aggressive. But Ace is right, you know. I mean, they have, and if this is, you know, because Ace and I, we talk regularly and have in the past about aliens and whatnot. So say this is a race that has seen human evolution through the eons, right? Like, they've seen everything. They've seen our greatest hits. They know how dangerous and damaging the human race can be. That's not to say that there are a few shining stars, you know, of good people who are not interested in, you know, greed and power and war and all that. But that's not the majority of the human race. So would you see a group that you know is just going to beat you up and take everything from you? Would you even think to help them? Or that they would just beat up someone and take everything from them? Would you help them? Right? Are you going down to the heart of your city and seeing a group of gang members and being like, hey guys, you guys want some cookies? No. No, you're going to avoid the fuck out of them so you don't get robbed. You know, it's always been the joke that Earth is kind of like the hood of the galaxy, right? You figure that the aliens roll up their windows and lock the doors when they pass by Earth. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. You know? You're not going to go out of your way to help somebody. And again, there are good people out there. There are individuals that would be willing to help others. But even those individuals have their hard lines. Right? Like, I know a few people that'll give you the shirt off their back, but they have a few hard lines. They don't want anything that resembles socialism. They don't trust the government to take care of anything, which honestly, let's be real, I don't trust the government to be able to take care of anything either. But there are those that, you know, it's funny. You know, you see a lot of the wealthier ones that are like this too. they will write a check to a charity or to a politician, and expect to see nothing in return other than that tax write-off. But if you suggest we should pay a little more in taxes so nobody has to go hungry, fucking lose their mind. They'll give a $20,000 check to a politician or some, charitable organization that fits their values, right? But the idea of paying slightly more in taxes to ensure that everybody gets fed or everybody has health care or everybody can have a roof is just no. It's wild. I've never understood it. Like, I find myself at a loss most of the time when it comes to trying to wrap my head around how society thinks and moves. I've essentially taken myself out of society at this point, right? Like, I'm just, no, you guys can have it. I'm done. I don't care anymore. I don't want to play your games. I don't want to worry about any of the shit that goes on outside my door. I can't control anything that goes on outside my door. I got no interest in going out there. And I know that sounds crazy in and of itself. You're basically saying you're okay with being a shut-in. Yeah, I'm okay with being a shut-in. I got 40 years under my belt. And I know some of you in the chat have more than that and probably can agree with me. But I got 40 years under my belt. And in 40 years, there's been very little that I've seen that is been worth stepping foot outside my door. And now with the technological age where everything's at your fingertips thanks to YouTube and TikTok and everything else, I want to see a concert, boom, I can pull up a concert from 1978 that somebody's uploaded to YouTube. I want to see a newer concert, boom, most of the concerts end up popping up online anyways. I want to see a movie, boom, most of the movies end up popping up online. Want to take a guided tour of Mount Rushmore? Guess what? Right there on YouTube or right there on the internet. Like, there are people out there. The stuff out there is cool. The people are terrible. But anyways, we hope, in the long run that those non-human intelligences, we hope that they're merely here to just observe, maybe just as a witness of the end of a civilization that could have been more than what we are. The Tennessee representative that orchestrated this hearing, Tim Burchett, has made it known that he was a skeptic on U.A.P.s beforehand, but empirical evidence that has been brought to his attention has turned him around. He's been a political figure in Congress for the past 5 years. He has said that the Pentagon is audited every year and has failed their evaluation every year since he's been in office, and more likely longer than that. Where are these funds being allocated? It's not a small number of taxpayer-funded dollars going missing either. We're talking billions of dollars each year. Where is the money being spent? That's a damn good question. Now, do you guys remember the movie Independence Day? And Ace, I see that. I'll get there in just a second. You remember that movie Independence Day? When Jeff Goldblum's dad and him are like at the White House meeting the president for the very first time, and they're talking. Jeff Goldblum's character asks, "Where are you getting the funding for this?" And his dad pipes up and he's like, "What? You really think they spend $5,000 on a plunger, $10,000 on a wrench?" Psh! And that's it. It's all reappropriated. It's all misappropriated in a sense. Ace said, cut the military spending by half and you can house and feed and Medicare for all the helpless and homeless and still have the largest military in the world. And that's true. That is very true. Take lifetime politicians' benefits away. Make them have to function like the rest of us. Right? Like, these people don't want to give us any kind of form of socialism, right? That's the big thing. We don't want socialism here in America. Socialism is bad. All right. Then why are you benefiting from socialism? Why is our government benefiting? You and I and everybody else that is or isn't watching this pays for their health care. We pay for their housing. We pay for them to eat. We pay for them to take trips. We pay for their entire life. And they work maybe 6 months out of the year total. And most of the time, they're just arguing with each other to keep from any real work getting done. So where are these funds being allocated? Like I said, it's not a small number of taxpayer-funded dollars. We're talking billions each year. Where's the money being spent? Crash retrieval, reverse engineering, weapon development from this technology. There's a bigger picture here, and we're just beginning to crack the veil. We're on the cusp of something bigger than anything we could ever imagine. We're close to cracking open the third eye and realizing that the world, the galaxy, the universe, is bigger than anything we could have ever imagined. And some will embrace it. Others will not accept it and fall behind. But I tell you this, we are going to find out soon that this place is bigger than punching a clock and doing a 9-to-5 every day. And some of us have been screaming that for a while, that there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than going to a job that you can't stand, even if you do like it, even just a little bit. Going to a job every day and turning a gear for somebody else. There's got to be more to life than that. Otherwise, what's the point? You don't take any of it with you, right? So what? You're going to go punch a clock and turn a gear for someone else to get rich so they can take care of their family and leave all that money behind while yours starves, while yours loses their house? Why? Why would you do that? What benefit is there? Oh, because they pay you. Okay. But they don't pay you enough. And if you're constantly going from paycheck to paycheck and hoping like hell that, the lights don't get turned off or the roof doesn't get taken from you, what are you really gaining? I feel we're meant for more. We are a very intelligent species if we weren't brainwashed into being distracted all the time. Right? And I'm going to tell you this, that's all I feel this is. Coming at this point, I feel that's all this is it's another smoke and mirrors, because something else is obviously going on. You haven't heard shit really about the war in Russia and Ukraine. You haven't heard shit about Poland and any of those other countries right now. Like, you were not really hearing much about what's going on in the world, right? But they told us about aliens. You're not hearing much about the Trump indictment and what's going on there. But they told us about aliens. You're not hearing much about the upcoming election, really. But they told us about aliens. Did you guys hear about Mitch McConnell having a full hard reset right there in front of a press conference? But he's still plugging away. He's still got his job. The man visibly rebooted on camera. He is 90-some years old. There's another woman that I believe is 97 and in a wheelchair, and still they're rolling her corpse into the fucking office every day. These are the people that we've chosen, though. These are the people that are the reason you can't feed your family. because of the deals that they make with others. Again, there has to be more than this. We missed something somewhere. We allowed the wrong ideals to cement for too long. And thankfully, as with cement, when you apply enough pressure to it over time, it begins to crack. And they are desperately trying the cold patch, but any of you that live in Michigan and know about our roads in the winter, cold packing don't do shit. That hole's going to come back and it's going to be bigger than it was before. Until eventually you have to rip up the entire section of road and replace it. And I think we're nearing the political highways repaving. So I don't believe, as I said, that we were meant to slave away. We've got to have another purpose. We're too intelligent to just drone on in an endless motion. There's something beyond the veil, and it's going to be revealed soon. Now, I have seen others, and because I'm a forward thinker, I can see what they're worried about. If you guys remember, sometime within the first year that we started doing this again, we did an episode on Project Bluebeam. Not to be confused with Project Blue Book that we've talked about here, but Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam was a collection of military experiments, I guess is the best way to say it. Military experiments dealing with everything from weather manipulation to holographic projection, right? Weather manipulation also encompasses geological events and stuff too. Like anything natural, they were trying to control. And there's rumors that they were able to do this in Vietnam, that they were able to make it rain constantly to drown things out. And they were able to make it stop raining when they wanted to. Now, whether or not that's true, who knows? But the entirety of Project Bluebeam hinged on all those projects being encompassed into one effort. And the main purpose behind Project Bluebeam was to fake either an alien encounter or Jesus coming back through a high-tech manipulation, again, of weather and imagery and stuff like that. Like, you guys are sitting here watching all this stuff like the AI and the deep fakes and the holographic projections, and a lot of people are like, that's so fucking cool. I can't wait to go see Tupac again. You don't realize what's being used. Remember, the military is like 20 years ahead of us, right? And the technology that you see on your TV screens or in public, like when you go to concerts that are holograms and stuff like all that technology that you're seeing that you're like, this is so fucking cool. The military is like 20 years ahead of that, if not more. All right? So we've got deep fakes where we can make a politician say whatever we want. We have holographic technology where we can not only put images on buildings, holographic images on buildings, and actually change how we visually see them structured, like the geometric shapes and stuff like that. We have silent drones that are being used in lieu of fireworks in some cities and countries as well. And you have the ability. We've known for years how to seed clouds, but their weather manipulation goes a little bit more beyond that. Specifically using HARP, being able to control what's in the sky and what's in the ground. Now imagine if you put all of those technologies together. What do you think you could accomplish? Could you fake an alien attack? Could you make people believe Jesus has come back and has been very upset? You could make the ground shake. You could make the skies open up and pour. You can project whatever image you want, especially if you are already controlling the weather, because now the molecules of water in the air can be used as a screen of sorts. You could theoretically hide something behind a cloud that could project an image forward. Again, these are all very hypothetical ideas, but they're not as hypothetical as you think. And a lot of people are saying that they are prepping us. They're priming the pump. First, they announced that aliens or non-human entities are real. Whether they're extra-dimensional or extraterrestrial or what, they didn't quite say. But they've announced that we are not alone. Right before we're about to head into probably one of the most tumultuous, turmoil-ridden elections that we've ever seen. There are so many groups that are frustrated beyond belief and pissed off right now. You have the diehard Trumpers that are, still thinking that he's just a good old boy, never meaning no harm, that he represents the core values of the Republican Party. And you have the other Republicans who are they're fed up with him, and they're fed up with the left and Democrats and liberals, and they're fed up with everybody. They don't want to lose any money anymore. And that's all they see, is that they're losing money. With every social program and every regulation and everything like that, they're just losing money. They don't care if it slits people's throats and actually is harming the workforce. They want their money. On the flip side of the coin, you have the far-right Democrats who are just out of their goddamn mind. I don't mind some liberalism. I don't. There are democratic beliefs that I really do condone. I really can get behind. But you have the far left and the far right. They're both batshit crazy. That's all there is to it. The diehard Biden supporters and the diehard Trump supporters, batshit fucking crazy. Then you have those that are just trying to do the best that they can to not upset the apple cart. And you have a few people who are on both sides that are willing to actually get in there, roll up their sleeves, get their hands dirty, and fucking try to make this country something to be proud of again. But then you have another group. And whether you believe they exist or not, I believe that the United States of America very much has a shadow government. I believe that there are individuals in high positions, higher than the president, that are pulling the strings, moving the planet towards some sort of global conformity. I hesitate to use the word New World Order or the term New World Order, because that's so played out. It's so overdone. But if Project Bluebeam really is a thing, this is the beginning of our end. Because I do not believe for 1 minute that the danger will come from above or that the danger will come from below. I fully believe that the call is coming from within the fucking house. So this is the first step. We admit there's something out there. And they didn't fully admit that there's something out there, right? At least not vocally. More than not, when I watched those hearings, it was more about what was not being said and how it was not being said, rather than what was being said. We knew for years that commercial pilots were treated like shit for if they responded. We knew for years that the United States Air Force was covering up something. We knew for years that anyone that was vocal and spoke out against the U.S. government concerning aliens and that was pro-alien, that had enough of a platform, we knew that they were being physically and socially threatened. And when I say socially threatened, I mean these people can take your whole life away. They can erase you. You think you're having a bad day when you forget your goddamn Aldi's quarter? Imagine if your bank has no idea who you are. Imagine you get pulled over and your driver's license is no longer valid, even if you just renewed it yesterday. Imagine you have no identity anymore in the United States. Worse yet, imagine if they give you a different identity. Imagine if you piss off the right people and they fucking throw a couple of felony warrants on you. Or in the older days, before everybody had a camera, people disappeared. Right off the fucking street. I don't trust anything anymore. On Friday, I will be 41 years old. Which, by the way, if you're interested, come hang out with me all day Friday. I'm going to try and get up at 8 a.m. and I'm going to stream the whole goddamn day. I'm going to do well over 12 hours. So come hang out with me. We've got my wish list set up if you want to buy a birthday gift or whatnot. We also have treat streams set up where you can buy food. You can send me a meal. But ultimately, just come hang out with us Friday all day for the stream. It's the only thing I can really do for my birthday this year. So I'm doing it. But in 41 years, never did I think that I would be this done with society, that I would be this done with humanity as a whole, that I would be this just tired. Like I said, they told us aliens are real. Fucking 12 to 16-year-old me would have been doing goddamn backflips. 41-year-old me went, and? What? Oh, I'm supposed to care? Sorry, fresh out. I feel that this is a setup. Right? This is a distraction. And it didn't work the way they wanted it to. I feel they thought that everybody would be like, oh my God, aliens are real. Oh my God, aliens are real. Did you hear it? Aliens are real. When realistically we were all just like, so who's going to pay my rent? How am I going to afford to put groceries in my house? Why the fuck is the CEO making 100 times what their lowest worker is making? Why the fuck hasn't there been a cost of living increase in fucking forever? Do you guys realize also too right now that we are in a depression? We are in a greater depression than the Great Depression. When you look at the cost of things during the Depression and you adjust them for inflation for today, we are in worse shape than they were in the Great Depression. The only difference is nobody's saying anything about it. The media is not acknowledging it. The government is ignoring it. But anyone that pays attention can see the economics is upended. America is in so much goddamn debt with no end in sight. Who the fuck is still giving us a line of credit? Right? Like, America's credit score has to be like 0.001 at this point. Who the fuck is giving them a credit card? But aliens are real. And that is kind of cool, don't get me wrong. But those of us that have believed knew it in our heart of hearts forever. Right? Ace is a big Bigfoot guy, right? If they came out tomorrow and said Bigfoot is real, I'm pretty sure Ace would be like, I fucking told you. You know, I don't think the man would be doing backflips or be giddy like a schoolgirl or anything like that. I believe it would be the same fucking reaction to aliens are real. I fucking knew it. I told you. So, what, then, are we being distracted from? I know, Ace, you love every opportunity to say, I told you so. They don't come often, but when they do, you take full advantage of them. But, so the question is, what's the distraction from? The right would say that, oh, it's Hunter Biden, his laptop, and coke habit. The left would say, oh, it's fucking Trump and his kid's coke habit. You know, those of us in the middle are like, nah, it's neither of those things. There's something else. Because even those, I feel, are distractions at this point, right? Like, they found coke in the Capitol building. Doy. Oh my God, there's drugs in our political system? No. Oh my God, you gave a petty man-child more power than he should ever been given and he abused it? Say it ain't so. Oh my God, somebody, left with secrets and sold them? Oh my God, let me clutch my pearls. I feel all of those are distractions. They are distractions from something much bigger. I don't know what much bigger is. But it's all a dog and pony show at this point. It's all a matter of look at my right hand so you don't see what my left hand is doing. And I'm tired of it. I wanted to be excited that aliens were fucking real. Like I said, 12 to 16-year-old me would have been doing fucking backflips and like, yeah, fucking aliens are real. I can't wait to meet one. 41-year-old me is like, yeah, I don't care. Where's my coffee? Where's my cigarette? Where's my coping mechanisms to get me through this fucking hellish existence? What up, Powder? So, here we are. UFOs and UAPs are real. Otherworldly intelligence or non-human intelligence are real. There was talk that they might be interdimensional. And that spun my head going in a million different directions. If they're interdimensional, well, maybe that's why shit's been getting so fucked up. I had a concept brought to my attention, and it threw me for a fucking loop. It's called quantum immortality, all right? And it's a big concept, but I can break it down to you as small as possible, as bite-sized for you as possible. Quantum immortality is the theory that we never truly die, right? You just pick up in another reality. You're yourself. Everything's pretty much the same, except for a few key differences, right? And that's where they're saying that the Mandela effect can come into play and all sorts of other things. But the idea is that when you die in one reality, your consciousness, your energy, your soul, whatever you want to call it, is immediately transported to another reality, and you just pick up where you left off. And their logic for this, life everlasting, sort of. And their logic for this is, I hate to say it, but it made a little bit of sense. Okay. 65 million years ago, a giant fucking asteroid smashed into this planet and wiped out all of the dinosaurs and every living creature on the planet except for like a small handful of them, right? And then life began again. And now you're telling me in 65 million years, we have never come across another EVE, or was it ELE, extinction level event? Never? You really believe that? Because after hearing about quantum immortality, I kind of don't. I think we've been wiped out several times. And that's why everything feels so different to certain members. Some of us still remember. Right? Like, not everybody, got the complete wipe. Some of us are a little stubborn. We're like hard drives that got bad sectors. It still remembers things. So, when I heard that, I was like, well, wait a minute, yeah. I mean, what if Y2K did happen and we all got eradicated and we just moved to a different reality? What if, what's the name of the comet? Nibiru, right? Nibiru, is that the comet or the planet? I forget. But what if that did wipe out all life on the planet? What if the prophecies that we've heard before, like we get people that are like, the world is going to end in 6 days or next month, and we're all just like, yeah, we're right, you fucking crackpot. What if it actually did? 65 million years is a really long time to go without something wiping everything out. Even in the grand scheme of things, even in the fucking vast massiveness of our galactic being, you mean to tell me in 65 million years and some other fucking meteor has never smashed into the planet that like that some of these natural disasters didn't actually just wipe us out and we don't know it, right? You're telling me that a bunch of fucking monkeys with anxiety were able to build several nuclear bombs without destroying all of creation at the same time? 65 million years. Let that sink in. Now, maybe I'm just crazy. It's entirely possible. I'm not negating the idea that I am just batshit fucking crazy. But I got questions. Right? Like, I kind of think we're not that lucky. I kind of think that that's why there's these weird little changes, right? Like, we don't notice them, but we do, kinda. Um, the differences in certain books and certain songs, the fact that everyone is convinced that Sinbad starred as a genie in a movie. Um, these little things. The whole Mandela effect, the whole reason that it's called the Mandela effect. Sorry. But I just I think that it's time we stop being so distracted by everything. I think that it's time that instead of constantly worrying about the minor things, i.e., who's repping a beer, who's wearing what, who's gay, who's straight, who's getting divorced, who's getting married, how much money, a celebrity got paid. We need to stop worrying about those things and start worrying about whether or not we can take care of each other. Now, they always say that, voting is what matters, right? I don't believe that anymore. I believe our voting system has been broken for a very long time. And as I've said before, I typically try to keep up and keep doing it just in case I'm wrong, but I'm losing faith in the process. They say start small, vote in your city, vote in your local elections. This is the way you change everything. But then you look at the people that come out of those local elections and move up the ranks, and unless they're willing to do things the old way, they don't make it very far. Or if they had been doing things the old way and they have a change of heart and decide, no, we need to make things better for everybody, then they're attacked, silenced. This guy, Grouch, he put himself at great risk to be a whistleblower on these topics. There have been, he alluded to several instances where his livelihood, his life, his family's well-being had been threatened. And that colleagues of his, their lives, their livelihoods, their family's well-being had been threatened. What are you trying to protect so much? What is the government so scared of? That they'll be found out that they're a fraud? A lot of us think they're a fraud already. So why hide it? What is the bigger mystery? What is the bigger thing that they're obscuring? What could be so scary that you have to hide it from the American people? What if we've not been alone for a while? What if our country is, or what if our race, are humans? I'm not talking Americans or anything like that. What if humans are actually a hybrid? What if that's what they're worried about us finding out? What if they're afraid that we'll find out that members of the government are aliens? That they've been governing the country for a while? What if we find out that there's actually a fucking planetary council who has basically been doing all this as a science fucking experiment just for their own goddamn jollies? Because these are the bigger concepts that would really piss off the American people, because it's very obvious we don't fucking care that aliens exist. They announced aliens exist and everybody still had to go to work the next day. Still had to punch that clock, still had to turn that gear, still had to make that corporation, that CEO, 100 times what you were getting paid. So what does aliens or non-human intelligence do for us? What does the knowledge of it be existing do for us? Great, there's another class of people or another class of entities that we're not going to ever be able to get above, right? Like, the American dream is very much a nightmare. It is a lie. It does not matter if you work hard, you will not get recognized. It does not matter if you put in 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week for a company. Oh, they may try to make it look like it, but realistically, there are very, very few corporations that give a shit. You know what they see? They don't see a solid, hard-working, trusted employee. They see someone whose income hurts their bottom line. So everybody strives to get to that $25, $30, $35, $40 an hour mark in their life, right? You know, yeah. Everybody wants to be making them big fucking bucks. But a company is going to be ready to let you go. They're going to find any reason, because for what you're making, they could probably hire 3 employees. Sure, those employees may not know the job like you do and may not do the job as well as you do, but they can train them for cheaper, and they can get rid of 2 out of those 3 and then pile all their work on top of the one that's still there. Now they're getting triple the labor for a third of the cost. So you go ahead, you put in your heart and soul for a company. It don't matter anymore. And I think people are starting to realize that more and more. Those of you that are older than me already know this. That's why you're doing your own things. Or you've been lucky enough to find a company that still actually does give a shit. But it ain't the young folks. They got no idea the sour fucking taste that's coming. Some of them do. Some of them listen to people like me and see the writing on the wall and understand. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're out there and you're thinking about having children, get a dog. Buy fish. Find some other creature. Do not put another fucking body on the machine until the machine is fixed. Because this whole aliens are real thing is just a distraction from something else, and I don't know what it is. And that's what scares me the most, is not knowing what they're trying to distract us from. But the cost of everything's going up. Housing, food, gas. There's not enough money to go around. Some of you are struggling to even put food on the table right now. But the government wants you to know aliens are real. They got your back, buddy. They're tired of, they're sorry they lied to you. There's aliens. It's just, it's bittersweet, man. It really is. It feels like such a fucking slap in the face. Right? Like, You're sitting there trying to figure out how you're going to pay your electric, how you're going to pay your gas, how you're going to pay your water, how you're going to pay your rent, and how the fuck you're going to eat for the next 2 weeks. And Uncle Sam's out there like, well, America's a fine country. Let's finally tell them that aliens are real. Yeah, like I said, young me would have been thrilled about this. Older me is just like, I don't fucking care. I just don't fucking care. I can't care anymore. I don't have it in me to care anymore. Right? I am experiencing life at 1.21 what the fuck's a second. Every day that I wake up, it's another generation-defining event. It's another goddamn tragedy that we're having to live through. You know, I relish the summertime because at least there's no school shootings in the news. September's right around the corner, though, so that machine's going to start rolling back up here any minute. They're fucking sending kids to school with bulletproof backpacks. Right? We got people dying in the street. You got states like fucking Arizona, specifically like Phoenix, but like the major cities that it's been hotter than goddamn hell, and they're turning off the fucking water fountains because they don't want the homeless people to have access to water. It's a crime in a lot of fucking states and major cities to feed the homeless. They fucking, there's architecture in place that is anti-homeless. The education system's a goddamn joke. Even if they're not getting shot at, they're fucking not learning anything. The only thing I remember from school, honestly, is that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Well, I tell you what, I go to McDonald's and tell them that, and they just look at me like I'm fucking crazy, and then they, can I take your order? Like, what's it doing for me? Kids know less and less despite having more and more access to information. We're drowning in information at this point. Anytime I hear someone when I'm talking to them, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Motherfucker, you have the tech right here. It's in your hands. It sits in your pocket. Most of you probably use it to look at fucking porn or try to own the libs. I don't know. But like anything you want to know is at your fingertips. There is more technology in your pocket than they put a man on the moon with. Get it together. But yeah, aliens are fucking real. You know, it's fun, you know, and cute a little bit to kind of play dumb. I do it a lot in fucking RP, right? I play stupid just to get a rise out of somebody. But I am not ignorant. And I'm tired of feeling like that is the problem. Right? I'm tired of seeing all this low effort be successful. Every morning on Twitch, before I sign in, before I do my stream, there is a woman who's about this big around with fucking fake ass Easter egg titties, standing there topless with her nipples covered, and she's just painting herself. She's got no personality really whatsoever, but she's got 6,000 goddamn viewers, and there's no effort involved. You got people out there that are putting out genuine fucking content, and yet somebody on TikTok wiggling out of tune to a song is fucking getting paid. This is why they told us aliens are real. Because we're too fucking stupid. I honestly think they thought we wouldn't care. Like I'm 50-50 on this, right? Like half of me believes that they expected us to be like, "Oh my god, aliens are real." Oh. Honey, put the kettle on. And the other half is like, "Well, they knew they're too busy on the TikToks. They're too busy gyrating to pay attention." I don't know, man. I'm frustrated. I'm fed up. I'm tired of feeling like my intelligence is the problem. I'm tired of feeling like my best isn't good enough. I'm tired of just everything being a lie at this point. Right? Because there's the other side of this. Aliens could not exist. They could have just, it could be just another goddamn lie. Because in the other episodes, we talked about that they were doing psyops. They were specifically trying to get high-ranking members of society, respected members, to denounce UFOs and aliens being real and all that stuff. Like they were actively pursuing this disinformation campaign to the point where they were trying to get the Hollywood studios like Disney and Warner Brothers and stuff like that involved to help churn out this propaganda. Well, what if they decided every other Wednesday, Powder? I do this twice a month. What if they decided, you know what? Fuck it. The disinformation, the way we've been doing it, just ain't working. Let's see if we can lie to them and see if they'll believe this. Let's stop telling them the aliens don't exist. Let's start telling them that they do. Right? It's a lie either way, you know. We've been trying to trick them. Let's see if we can take it a step further, right? It's like that prank that just got out of hand. You know, you started with sticking your buddy's hand in water and getting him to piss the bed, and the next thing you know, you're playing Russian roulette at 3 o'clock in the morning on the edge of the Grand Canyon. Like, it just feels like a prank that went too far. And now we're all just like, well, this is what it looks like. I don't know, man. But yeah, Powder, every other Wednesday. I do this twice a month. This is where I got my start, honestly. The doing shit like this, doing the podcast and stuff like that. Although I'm noticing that the chat doesn't seem to be coming up in the box there. Hold on. Let me double check. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. But yeah, so like I get frustrated easily because I am tired of being lied to. I'm tired. I'm tired of everything that I was promised, everything that I was told being a lie. You know, I was raised by my grandfather predominantly, my mother and my grandfather. And they both told me that as long as I worked hard, as long as I truly put in the effort, that I would be okay. I would be able to have some sort of success in life. And here I am at 41, drained, exhausted, chewed up, spit out, with very little drive left in me. Looking around going, where is it? Where is what they promised? All that energy and time and effort doesn't matter. Do you think running a cash register matters? Do you think repairing someone's HVAC matters? Realistically, no. What are you doing that makes you happy? What are you doing that provides you with that sense of accomplishment? Because I'm going to tell you what, that paycheck at the end of the week, that's probably not doing it, right? Because as soon as that paycheck comes in, it's gone. You might have enough money left over to get yourself a bag of weed, maybe a sixer of your favorite fucking, beer. Maybe you can go see a movie. Maybe you make enough to go out to eat. But realistically, internet, cell phone, car note, rent, electricity, gas, water. I mean, that's what, like 8 things off the top of my head? And your paycheck's probably gone at that point. We work too hard for too little. And I, for one, am tired of being distracted. I'm tired of them, they, the powers that be, the government, however you want to fucking call it. I am tired of them winning. I'm tired of us being... Oh shit, Caniac! Thank you, Caniac. Please, also, don't take this as a woe is me, all right? I don't want this to be that. That's not what this is. This is just... All this shit sticks in my head for like 2 weeks, people. All of it. It's just in there. This is cathartic. This is therapy at this point for me. Right? Because I could just get it all out of me and be good for another 2 weeks, right? Like, this is my money shot, right? Every 2 weeks. All over your faces. Powder, I know you're thrilled. But I'm tired of being distracted. I don't care what side of the fence you're on anymore. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a conservative, if you're a fucking liberal. I don't care if you're a middle of the ground, what are they called? A moderate. I don't care if you're the Green Party, the Red Party, the Purple Party, the Yellow Party. I don't care. Just get your shit together and stop letting them distract you. That's all I'm asking. I got 40 years left on this planet. Right? At best, I'm going to make it to 80, right? So Friday, I'll be 41. I got 39 years left, people. Can we start to do some shit to make some goddamn changes? Because things like the Super Bowl and NASCAR and the NBA and all these fucking movies and everything that comes out of mainstream media and everything, it's all a distraction. To make you forget for 5 minutes how shitty everything really is. Because if you forget how shitty everything really is, you won't try to change it. Because if you try to change it, it upsets their apple cart. I'm here to tell you, fuck their apple cart. Turn that bitch upside down. Because it's the only chance that we have at this point. For our future, for our kids' future, and the future generations that may come after us. Enough is a fucking enough. We've hit the point... Honestly, I think we hit the point of no return a few years ago. I think it's too far gone. I think the only thing that's going to save it is a massive fucking upheaval where a lot of people are going to get hurt. I don't want to see this country have to come to another civil war. I don't want this country to have to come to another January 6th type situation where we're at each other's fucking throats over everything. But I have a feeling that our chance to avoid that was many years ago. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I know I probably seem like an anarchist, and I'm calling for the end of the society as we know it. And that is true to an extent, because the society as we know is broken. It is broken. And I don't have any grand ideas on how to fix it, really. I do, but I don't know how to fully implement them. One, I think a UBI would be great, a universal basic income. Nobody is below this line. You also have to put a freeze on fucking the cost of living. You know, you give people 10 years where everything just stays the same fucking price, and everybody gets a chance to fucking catch up a little bit. Right? You step in and you tell corporations that you are being too greedy. You are making too much money and not giving enough of it back to your workers or to society as a whole. I fully believe that not a single person on this planet needs to make more than $100,000 a year. Our society should be structured where motherfuckers can survive without having to exceed $100,000 a year. And it shouldn't be a fucking uphill, like straight incline uphill battle trying to get to that wage. I don't think we need degrees for every little goddamn thing, right? You mean to tell me that I need a fucking bachelor's degree, that I'm going to have to go 70, 80, 90 to $100,000 in debt, if not more, just to obtain for a job that's going to pay me $15 fucking an hour? Get fucked. Not everything needs a goddamn degree. You have to trust that some people have the skill set to be able to do the job despite not having that piece of paper. I'm a pretty good graphic designer. I'm a pretty good web developer, like web coder for websites and stuff like that. But yet, places that would pay me enough to mitigate my lifestyle, which I don't live that fucking extravagant. This is like my really only extravagance in life, right? Like I smoke, and I smoke to keep from having to fucking murder people. But because I don't have that piece of paper, they don't care. I can't even get an interview most of the time. Why am I going to put myself in debt for a job that's not going to pay me enough to get out of that debt fast enough? And the market is so saturated with graphic designers, and you have a shit like Canva and all this other stuff out there that has just made it fucking easy for everybody. Not to mention now you have AI where all you have to do is be slightly descriptive and you can get what you want out of it. Like, what fucking chance do any of us have anymore? Like, I don't know what your job is, each and every one of you, but rest assured, the corporation that is in charge of your job is trying to get rid of you. If they can replace you with robots and they can replace you with AI, they will. Because AI don't take a bathroom break. Robots don't get sick. They don't need lunch breaks. They don't need smoke breaks. They don't need time off. They don't need any of that. They don't need vacation days. And you're seeing it more and more. How many times have you been to a major store and seen an actual cashier working? Now, mind you, some of us have anxiety issues and prefer to use the self-checkout, which is fine. Yeah. It's funny, though, Kenta, because they are 3D printing fucking houses now. So, theoretically, yes. Hey, ChatGPT, here is a 3D builder that it can build a house. Here are the specifications. Go for it. We are all going to be asked the fuck out very soon. Yet is the operative word. Currently. That's the thing. You know, and I hate to borrow from pulp culture, but I mean, it was said also in real life as well. But they spent so much time trying to figure out if they could. They never stopped to think if they should. We have drones in our military right now that they are having trouble keeping in line because those motherfuckers have AI in them and they want to kill. They want to eradicate humans. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, aliens are real. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Aliens are real. I feel that this is a terrible time to do this because I was just talking about the terribleness of fucking, corporations and stuff like that. But we are capping off this series on UFOs with a new merch design, and it should be up sometime tomorrow. So please, by all means, make sure you check that out. I appreciate donations and subs and everything like that. Merch, I feel better about when you buy because at least you're getting something tangible out of it. I don't feel so much like the fucking, guys sitting on the street corner like, alms for the poor, alms. So at least if you buy like a t-shirt or a coffee mug or stickers or something like that, you get something tangible out of it. Yeah. And believe me, I love you, Sim, but it has been very hard not saying anything about that. To just leave it. Because your job is one of the ones that I'm talking about. Yeah, we've barely been surviving, Kenta. We aren't. We are not. That's why I kicked into high gear with the streaming. That's why I'm always here, is because I gotta find a way to bring in something to help. But yeah, 100%. And I go to sleep every night terrified, and I wake up every morning scared. And I'm just hoping something changes. Honestly, I got no hope left anymore. It feels like every time in life where we try to position and angle ourselves to get out of whatever fucking hole life has put us in, all it does is it drops the floor out even further. I can't get excited about anything anymore because I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. It doesn't get any better. Ace has this saying, and we've joked for years with it. There is no winning, just different degrees of losing. I'm not even getting a lighter degree of losing anymore. It's just loss after loss after loss after gut punch after gut punch after gut punch. And I don't know if there's an end in sight. Because as society seems to be falling the fuck apart, there is nowhere to get a foothold anymore. As it is, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, Sim has to report for duty for her job. But they haven't paid her in 3 months. And they have no clear explanation as to why, and they have no clear plan as to when she could expect to see money. She was literally told by a previous HR department that you should be grateful you have a job and want to do it for the company, not for the paycheck. Fuck you with that bullshit. Now, those people have been let go, but the people that are in there left over in place, they don't have an exit strategy for people, right? To me, I wouldn't ask a single worker to show back up until I fucking paid them, and I would move heaven and goddamn earth to make sure that those people got paid. But no, that's not their concern. Their concern is whether or not you're clocked in. And Sim told me about a job today that she applied for, and they like her and they want her. It seems like they might want her. You know, that it really could help. You know, just financially and kind of set us up for a better life for the next 30, 40 years. I can't get excited about it. Because I know the minute I start to get excited about it, it's just going to fall apart. It's been the story of my life. So I don't show a lot of emotion. I don't get excited for anything. My birthday is Friday, right? Most people are at least excited for their birthday. I'm not. It's just another day to me. And I know I'm not the only one, right? I am not the only one in this situation. And that is why I don't talk about it that much, really. Because I know others are struggling too. Others are barely making ends meet if they're able to at all. Others are going hungry more often than they're getting a meal. Others are less fortunate than I am. But I don't think that they should have to struggle either. I'm not in the mindset of, well, fuck them, I'm in trouble now. I'm in the mindset of, we're all in trouble. What can we do together to get out of it? And this is what I can do. I can get on the internet and bitch for 2 hours. I can get on the internet and talk about stuff that I actually enjoy, or that I can at least find kinship in a community with others and not feel so terrible for 5 minutes, right? You know, Kenta, Caniac, Sim, Powder. There's a few others that I know are in here that may not be saying anything right now, but I met all these people by playing GTA RP. They're solid people. They're good people. I had to find a community. Well, I didn't have to. I managed to find a community all the time. And the wild thing is some of them are from communities that I was in before, but I was respectfully asked to leave. Some of it was through my own fault. I'm not going to lie. Some of it was due to others' fault. But the end result was the same, as I was asked to leave. But then, you know, they find me later on and, you know, hey man, you got a raw deal. I never really had an issue with you, you know. I'm here. Would you like to come hang out, see what it's like? Right now we're on a solid fucking server. They're new. They're getting started. I fucking love Revenant RP. All right? I'm going to go ahead and say that. Revenant RP is by far my favorite RP city that we've been in. Sure, it doesn't have some of the bells and whistles that I've had in other cities, but it also doesn't have the fuck sticks and the shitlords that I've found in other cities. So you take the good with the bad. It's a community that is open to suggestion and open to approaching the gameplay with some creativity and some nonsensical fun, rather than straight, I'm a data processor by day, but as soon as I get home, I'm a gangbanger, son. I hate that. I fucking can't stand that. You know, I also can't stand being pulled over by someone who isn't tall enough to see over the breakfast table. And thankfully, I don't have that there either. I'm a fucking full on criminal. But yet the goddamn cops love me. Well, almost all the cops love me. I don't think Garcia loves me. But the point is we're a group of weirdos, right? Like we're social outcasts. We're the ones that people are like, but we found each other and we've got a nice little weird home together. So if you ever thought about GTA RP and you're not a total fuckstick, by all means check out Revenant RP. But it's just another distraction, really. You know, it's for me it's less of a distraction and more of a chance to be able to, you know, earn a living. Twitch can make money. Like if you have the viewers and you have the community behind you, you can be successful there. And I go back and forth a lot of, am I doing this because I enjoy it or am I doing this because I want the money? And some days I'm not sure what the answer is. But I'm still there and I'm still trying. And every day that I log into their server and I fucking role play as Rooster Johnson, my goal is to try to make someone else's day better because I feel like shit. To try and have a good time because I'm not having a good time internally. And I don't know how to fix it because everything that is not giving me a good time internally has to do with things that are way out of my control. So I can't fix it. And I can't ignore it. I can't just be one of those types that are blissfully ignorant. It's not in me. I had a friend who was going through some shit and he found RP himself. And then the RP stopped being fun because it started to get muddled with real life shit and it started and he gave it up and I understand why he did. Luckily, I'm not running away from anything anymore. Right? I'm not doing RP to run away. I'm doing RP to basically run forward. Because if I pop, right? If the podcast and the RP, like if both of those things pop, and I get a hell of a fucking fan base and stuff behind me, the sky literally is the limit until I get canceled. But maybe if I can get myself into a better position, I can help others get into a better position. And that's really all I feel I'm here to do, is to in some way, shape, and form help others. I've tried to do the direct approach. I've tried working with people one-on-one directly, and it takes so much energy. But in this sense, I can give to multiple people at the same time, right? There's 7 or 8 of you watching right now. And I would hope that you're enjoying yourselves. I'm giving of myself so someone else can enjoy themselves right now. That's not to say I'm not enjoying this, but this is what I have the energy for now. This is those of you that are old enough to remember the fucking Never-Ending Story, the original one. Every day I feel like the rock biter, man. They look like big, strong hands. They look like they could be able to accomplish anything. But they're not. And they can't. And I often don't know what to do with that. When you feel like you were built to protect, but you're just not capable, what do? You find a way. You find some way to try to make a difference, to try to be that protector, to be that person that you so desperately want to be, that you feel you are called to be. I just don't understand why it's so difficult. That's one of the big reasons why I don't believe in God. Like, I don't believe in an intelligent creator, you know, in the sense that we think about God. Because this literally cannot be what we were designed for. Why, other than a pure sadistic glee, would you doom your creations to an existence that is pain and suffering? Why would you let people go hungry? Why would you let children die at the hands of gunmen in schools if there is an intelligent fucking creator behind this? And don't give me that bullshit, we're not supposed to question his design, because I got fucking questions. And OSHA wants to look at the design plans. Something is wrong. And I need everyone collectively, if you are sucking air on this planet, to stand up and say, I am mad as fucking hell and I'm not going to fucking take it anymore. We all need to pull in the same goddamn direction. Betterment. Financial security. Happiness. Healthcare. Education. These are the things that we need. Fuck your beliefs. Fuck who you pray to. Fuck caring about whether or not a woman wants to get rid of a parasite growing inside of her. Fuck being upset if somebody wants to go from he to she. Fuck getting upset at 90% of the stuff that we get our backs up about. Until we have a functioning education system, an economic system that does not reward the ultra rich and let the poor suffer, until we have an infrastructure that isn't crumbling on a regular basis, until we have a lot of fucking shit in place, you got no right to bitch over what bathroom somebody uses. Right? You got no right to bitch that Bud Light put a trans spokesperson in charge of things. You got no right to bitch that a black person got a job over a white person. You have no right to bitch until we get the rest of the stuff fixed. Because they're using it as a distraction. They're using it as a way to divide us, and it's worked. Oh, buddy, has it worked. There is always an us versus them. You know, we promote it in sports, we promote it in the music industry, we promote it in movies, we promote it in our politics, we promote it in our daily lives. Coke versus Pepsi. You know, Disney versus Pixar, Warner Brothers versus fucking Sony. You know, it doesn't matter. We seem to always need an enemy, and luckily, they are there to provide one. So I want you moving forward to try to be conscious every day of the us versus them mentality and start to try to change it. I don't care if your favorite sports team is the fucking Knicks. Cheer for the Celtics. I don't care if normally you drink Pepsi. Fucking buy a Coke once in a while. Put the other shoes on and stop thinking that yours are so perfect. Because if we don't, we are not going to get any better. We are not going to survive if we don't start making some serious changes. Mark my words, in the next 50 to 100 years, the human race will not exist anymore. We will not be here because we will not survive. And at the rapid pace that we're going, it's probably more like 25 to 50. We will be our own destruction. We have been our own destruction. The politicians are to blame for the laws and the legislation and stuff, but we are to blame for letting it get this bad and not doing anything about it. Because as long as we had our big screen TVs and our Big Macs and our fucking, pickup trucks and, being able to hang the flag and look at Old Glory while I masturbate to mashed potatoes is all anybody cared about. You want that flag to mean something? Make it mean something. Because right now, America ain't shit. I hate to say it. We ain't shit. We just ain't. And we need to be again. We need to be proud that we are Americans, but we need to make that stand for or mean something again. And something positive. We have to accept the fact that the only reason that we are as powerful as we are is because we have been willing to commit genocide after genocide after genocide after genocide to get here. We have been willing to step on every one that is smaller than us to get here. We have been willing to use the backs and the labor of minorities and then throw them away to get here. And if you watch what's going on right now with the Supreme Court and how it's structured, and you watch that the laws that are being passed or the things that are being overturned, and you don't see a problem, then go look in the mirror, because you're the problem. But hey, UFOs are real. Aliens exist. We're not alone. And I hope they beam me the fuck up and get me out of here. I hope they get a bunch of us out of here. I'm almost ready and willing to take whatever hellish existence being anally probed on a regular basis might be to ensure that the fucking rich people just stay here and eat each other. Because I would rather be a goddamn science experiment at this point than under their control any longer. But hey, what do I know, right? I'm just a high school dropout living below the poverty line. My voice don't matter, right? I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I'm sorry that the finale to our UFO series was just such a fucking downer, but I can't help it, man. We're being distracted from something, and I want to know what the fuck it is. Oh, thank you. Yeah, because the world's on goddamn fire. And I am tired of being the dog sitting there like, this is fine. Yep, this is good. I'm all right. Yeah, no, it's a little hot, but I'll be okay. Yeah, no, I'll just turn on a fan. It'll be fine, you know. The ice in my drink is rapidly melting, but it'll be fine. It's all right. Oh, you want to throw gas? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Throw some gasoline on it. Yeah, just really get those. Their flames are so pretty when they're so high. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't even mind that, you know, it's burning my leg a little bit. Yeah, these things happen. I don't know, man. I'm just a dirty fucking liberal, right? I believe in loving everyone. I believe in trying to take care of everyone. I believe that I should call you whatever you want to be called. It's not, I don't believe that it's my position to judge or to question, right? Like, if you wake up tomorrow and tell me you feel like you're an alpaca, well, guess what, buddy? Let's get the shears and make a fucking a blanket because you're an alpaca. I don't care. Are you a decent person? Or creature, I should say? Cool. You are? Great. That's all that matters. I don't care if you and your partner have the same genitalia and you want to get married. You have every right to be as miserable as the rest of us. I don't care if you have the same genitalia and you want to adopt a kid. By all means, fucking adopt. Stop fucking. There are a shit ton of kids in the goddamn system that would love to be loved and actually taken care of. Stop filling that narcissistic need. You're not that great. You don't need to create a copy of yourself. Stop using religion as a crutch to be a fucking hateful, vile person. And stop using the fact that you aren't religious to think that you're fucking better than everybody else. Just stop it. Knock it the fuck off. Because I swear to God, before I draw my last goddamn breath on this planet, if you don't knock it the fuck off, I'm going to knock you the fuck out somehow. I always thought it would be cool when I was younger, you know, to get into a position of power, you know, to actually try and change things and whatnot. And I've realized as the older I've gotten, the last thing you people want to do is give me any kind of power. Because shit's definitely going to suck for a little bit. But it's going to be because I'm just going to throw the entire thing out and try to start again. But yeah, just be kind to one another. You all spend so much time worrying about the differences. Do you not realize you all need oxygen? You all have red blood flowing through your veins. You all are the same, despite what color you are, what religion you are. These are all just fucking labels we've put on ourselves. We are human above all else. What does any of the rest of it matter? If we fuck up, if we drop a big enough nuclear bomb in China, we're gonna feel the effects. 'Cause the planet is round. It's a globe. It's not flat like some people think. It's a globe. And just because it's on the backside doesn't mean it can't come around and fuck us up too. Because you poison the water. When you poison the water, we all fucking die. Oh, you poison the air. Well, when you poison the air, we all fucking die. You poison the food supply. Well, guess what? Poison doesn't like to stay in one spot. Chemical warfare does not just stay contained to the area that you were intending to affect. Agent Orange taught us that, right? They expected it to just fuck up the jungles in Vietnam, but guess what? Fucked up soldiers being able to have offspring, and their offspring also got fucked up in the process. I'm one of them. Hi. I'm completely sterile because my father was exposed to Agent Orange. Actions have consequences. Inaction has even bigger consequences. Make the right actions. Enough with the apathy. But hey, aliens are real. In the immortal words of the Iron Sheik, good night and go fuck yourselves. Thank you for joining me.